reflections of my own. And at the edge of lakes and rivers, in dingy Midwest Rust Belt cities, upon the train tracks and big clearings, my words and songs reached humble beings. They listened quietly to my songs in all their shabby worker clothing, and I stared boundless in their souls, which were as soft as grass in summers. And I walked into many churches and into many wooden shrines and tried to understand that wisdom, which didn't make much sense to me. And now again I'm breaking ice this evening, and it is up and down and everywhere as always, 'cause in the darkness, writing poems, and in the morning, buying tickets. Thanks. Yeah, it's got some lyricism to it. This poem is called The Bottom. It's better here and sweeter on the bottom. From our small bubble, the world revolves without a clue. But I need rest, like many people. I have problems. Pockets are empty, and dreams are empty without you. I live in silence beneath the city's towers. I walk beneath these mammoths rain collects, and I sink lower and lower towards the bottom, where no one cares and people are the same. I'm just going to keep throwing it on the floor. It's easier that way. This is called Angels. Angels are falling from the skies. They crash to earth and become human. They roam the world with love and rage, and always search for their old friends in heaven. They crash so hard with broken wings, with golden feathers lit with fire, and you can see it in their eyes, the shock of falling from such heights. And they go off and work on farms. They plunge their hands in raw, cold ground and harvest fields of grief and love. You see their deep angelic features reflect in frozen lakes and ponds, and they remember their past life and of how far and long they've traveled. Up in the sky they played guitars and drank rich wine and kissed with angels. And now they know that if they ever reach and return to heaven, they'll be too old for that good wine and too damn tired for that music. And they adapt to worldly matters and clean their homes and wash their dishes. They bake potatoes in their ovens and learn to live without their wings. And after time, they learn to love the land below their former home. They learn to love sloped rolling hills resembling a female body and pastures pregnant with new wheat and the tremendous awe of mountains. And they find new and earthly angels with whom to share this short, brief life, and realize that there are moments when earth can rise above the sky. Thank you. This is called No Mountain Cliff. No mountain cliff exists, no freedom for grass to breathe, no ageless rocks, no locks of hair to fall in winds, no fields to sing to you at night. No longer fire sparks from matches, and clouds no longer spin around. You live in shock, and now imagine your soul in hardship on the ground. And eyes no longer sparkles magic, and souls no longer gusts of time. The wind is still upon the planet, but revolution still has time. Thank you. It's called I Believe in You. I saw her standing by the wall, leaning, with eyebrows thinking. Her natural hair fell on her shoulders, and her soft shadow wept and sloped. She seemed a saintly, godly being, and rain and branches lived outside. And after standing in the hallway, I walked into the sullen room. I sat beside the tainted window and watched as light touched her soft features. We breathed in neither smoke nor air, but the engulfing stench of life. Please tell me, she says, looking in my eyes, why on this earth there is so little love. Our eyes looked into one another, and afterwards we spoke in silence. And she sat down onto the floor and leaned her head against the wall, and I gazed deep into her eyes, green like the fields on our planet, the earth that has so little love. And in my heart I held so many questions, but I did not utter a word. I started learning the word patience and opened my heart to the world. This is called Our Human Love. Our love is not arrayed in skills. It is like nature, raw and starving. No splendid luxury adorns it, nor is it ravishing and flawless. It has no virtue and no value. It isn't worth a fucking penny. We're like two animals in nature, descendants of a brutal family. I love to titillate my senses by being senseless, crushing flowers, by gasps, exalted by my power, and by the colored rim of madness. Our love has set up many barriers between the world and our sick manners. We lead a life of slaves and masters, worshipping neither Ra nor Eris. And so I'm sitting cutting roses, and blood falls on the dirty floor, and I can see such depraved beauty exist and cut itself inside. Our nature is so masochistic. It loves to watch its branches bending and earth get dirty and despairing, and tears to roll down hills and plains, and from afar long tired waves reach the cold coast of human torment. The ceaseless vagues of bloody torrent will bind our hands and suffocate, and we stand like two tired masters out from the dark pages of Goeth. We contemplate these natural urges and watch as people eat themselves. This poem is called In the Morning. In the morning things feel better, even though it's cold. I make coffee in the morning, listening to the stove. My guitar, just like a baby, leans against the wall. In the studio, old brushes, and there's so much ink. Many books and old newspapers, poems out of dreams. In the morning, cold bites hands, and I struggle slowly, walking in my heavy sweater to the frozen station. There I sit and wait for it. The bus arrives with slush. In the slush, my cigarette dissipates a lot. In the evening, quiet music and warm beet soup. I play with my baby always, jazz and classic blues. And at night, my thoughts are always soaked in poems and wine. In the morning, it will be all right. It's called My Earth. Earth is a strong woman. That is, if you believe that Earth is a woman. It seems to me that she is. She's always pregnant with new kids, always giving birth to new saints and thieves. And walking down the street with slabs of concrete, it seems to me that Earth is crying underneath. And lately it seems she has raised a few dangerous people, eyes dark with destruction and precise with no feeling. They seem nothing at all like their mother, and I am sure she's frightened of them. I'd like to believe she's disgusted with fields black with ash with no end, and rivers and roots and canals all poisoned from oil with her depths. And in a sick vespertine stillness, when blood seems to have seeped through the air, her ape-like children in battle pause for a second to drain much more blood from her veins. I'd like to believe she's a good woman. She is, after all, a beautiful woman. She is, after all, my mother. She's seen so many of her children slaughter each other, and in those collisions has suffered as well. Earth is quiet. She does not know how to answer. Or perhaps, like an ignorant child, I just don't know how to listen. It's called Abstract. Looked into the mirror and said, settle down. You're becoming obscure, unknown, undefined. Now you're living as something, neither up or on ground. You're becoming abstract, like a square, like a line. Now you're nothing. You're nothing. You're nothing at all. This is a very lyrical kind of thing. It's for Edgar Allan Poe. After I die, I'll see my angels hovering like snow above the grave. On ground, I'll see the feet of strangers circling, gathering broken branches, snow, autumn leaves, and pages changed, and city will be rearranged. A crow will perch up near my branch. A girl will whisper poems once written by a young boy once during winter. Medieval feelings will rise in her. The scent of roses will send shivers, and she will start to cry and change. The grave will grow and appear strange, and gathering children will not hinder or force delay unholy splinters of roots and seeds and better days. You'll see how flocks of winged children will flock like geese towards the grave. After I die, I'll see my life projected on a screen of cosmos. I'll laugh, revolted, in disgust, and see our naked souls in darkness, and thus remember how I once sat down, wrote poem in the winter. Remember how eyes shined at dusk over the glory of words written. The soul will shudder as if bitten. The grave will sink beneath the moss. All lost, no one to live remembered. All lost, no one to visit us. I'll watch my angels slowly leaving and grieving over someone else, to sound of fences, mud, snow, bells. A different time, a different name. A children that once stood like soldiers will fall to ground like frozen tribes. Times will destroy their thoughts like vultures, but angels, they will never die. This is a very short one. It's called A River Poet. I wish I was a river poet, recluse, small hut, soft chimney smoke. Only to trees my soul would open, eyes sober as the evening stars. The mist would sway my little boat, and fish would tell me ancient stories. This, thank you. This next poem is called Master Planners. It's kind of a disturbing poem, but it's got a good message, I think. Just don't be shocked. I figured everything out now. I don't worry anymore. I now have a purpose. Now I am part of the master plan. You don't know what I'm talking about yet, but let me explain it to you. We live in a great nation with a wise and a genius leader. A man of such dignity and courage could only be George W. Bush. The nation burns like hell, but that's okay. It's all part of the plan. Yesterday I went to the doctor's where I saw an old woman rejected when asking for a small glass of water. She did not have insurance, but don't worry. She doesn't deserve it. She hasn't realized she's part of the plan. And then I pumped gas from the earth like a son of a slave. I wasted my pay and went back to work. And I knew that I was a great and useful tool for a great and amazing plan. My neighbor's son is dead, but I don't grieve for him. It's part of the plan. My neighbor's phone is tapped. Good for him. It's a wonderful plan. It's a terrible plan. It's a genius plan to take over the world, to possess everything, to control everyone, to have and to fill the stomach with money. We're going to be selling our mothers and fathers for a basket of bread as they crown one another. What a wonderful plan. What a genius plan. All the other presidents are shit compared to this man. Of all the plans that men have designed, this war on the world is the best of the best. We're all little pawns. We fit right in place. We fulfill with our breath every part of this plan. And that's exactly why I don't worry any longer. I hail George Bush and all the master planners. I hail Hitler and Stalin and everyone else who knew how to take us and put us in place.